she realized all the trauma that goes with it. So she redirected herself. But I really just admire social workers for all the work that they do. So last of all, we have Mr. Branson, who I also met at, she was sitting right here, but she left. I met Benita and Larry Branson at the same child visitation place. And it was because of Hannah that really got me off out of my pit, as the book that I was sharing with my sister Gloria was when I met Larry, and he was telling me everything that he was doing for adoption. I felt like, whoa, who's on your team? And he said he was a team of one person. And I was like, wow, if he could do that as one person, then why can't I? I've got a couple of people on my team. So
And she did.
Yeah.
And she did. She was my San Bernardino County. It would be happening tonight. The parade last week would have been happening if it wasn't for so thank you so much. Next year, we're going to start in January and plan for the whole year. We may include Foster Awareness Month in May, but we're going to have a team, a bigger team, and where everybody goes a part, and we'll be able to really hit a lot of different agencies, a lot of different events, venues, so we can make Foster Awareness Month, National Adoption Awareness Month, even more aware than it should be. Okay. You left the best to last. Okay, my name's Larry, and I have been a foster parent for the last 21 years. During that time, I've had 20 kids placed in my home. They range in age from 3 to 17. There were 17 boys, 3 girls, and 4 sets of siblings. Number 20, my son Jeffrey, I adopted when he was 9, and he's going to be training too. Because of these children and the experiences that we had together, I can honestly tell you that I'm a better person, I'm a better human being. They have made my life so much more complete, and they definitely helped me understand what the real world is all about. I'm very passionate when I talk about my life as a foster adopted parent. All of my children were very special, and they were all unique in their own way. And most of all, they all deserved that chance and opportunity for a life and a future of their own. So, to make this work for me, I had to understand exactly what would be all involved. I needed to decide what situations I would be able to handle. I had to know my own limits. I had to be realistic about time and money. And most importantly, was I willing to do all the hard work necessary for this to succeed? It was a challenge for me as a single foster parent to provide all these children what they needed. My children had never learned to be within the usual routines of a normal family life. And it took extra amounts of love, understanding, and my favorite word, patience. I needed my children to understand that no matter what, that they were not at fault for anything that happened in their home. They were only children. I became their advocate in life the moment they entered my home. After a while, I came up with a list of what I wanted to accomplish with my children. I wanted to make their hard times a little easier. I wanted to show them what a real home is supposed to be like. I wanted to teach them how not to run when they were scared. I wanted to show them that there was someone who loved them for them just being themselves. And most of all, I wanted to say part of their lives. And I've been very fortunate that my older foster kids and I are still family. We still communicate. We still get together for dinners. My oldest is now 32. Then I have one that's going to be 27. I have one 25, one 22, and then Jeffrey, my son, is going to be 18. So I'm very, very fortunate to have them still in my life. I continually re-educated myself to learn more about all the issues that were going to arise. ADD, ADHD, bipolar, fetal alcohol, attachment disorder, depression, and emotional stress. Some of my children were prenatally exposed to substance abuse. All of my children that were of school age were in special education. They were on medication, and we all went to therapy. I took additional child development classes, special needs, multiculture, even art for children. Went to conferences, workshops, and seminars, again to better understand what my children were all dealing with. My son and I belong to a group for the last 4 years. It's called Kinship 5 Acres in San Dimas. And this has been my support, my therapy, and my respite for the last 4 years. One thing I tell foster parents when I give a speech, I said that when we are busy taking care of others, one of the first things that we neglect is ourselves. So always try to include something for you. My journey was not always easy. There were obstacles placed in my path. And at times I thought to myself, I don't know if I can continue doing this. This is more than I ever imagined. And what was I thinking? Then one of my kids would walk in and say, Dad, I need your help. Dad, I don't feel well. Or just to give me a great big hug. And once again, I realized why I started on my journey and what I wanted to accomplish. Giving a child a strong foundation, a home, a family to love, a safe place to live, is one of life's greatest and most generous gifts. These foundations will help children thrive, reach their potential, and be able to be on their own and spread their wings. Adoption is a courageous act of love, and it affects all values of family and life. One of my favorite programs is Extreme Makeovers. It's always inspiring, always heartwarming, and incredibly soul-searching. And it proves that people working together can provide hope and promise for those in crisis. The episode that I watched that evening was they were honoring a woman, a single parent, who had 35 children placed in her home, 6 of which she adopted. Now, in this family's spare time, they cooked, they collected clothes, and they collected bedding, and they distributed it to the homeless in Virginia Beach. So the Extreme Makeover crew built her a special room in her house, and filled it with clothes, bedding, and food, so she could continue helping the homeless in Virginia. On the wall in this room was a plaque, and it read, "Everyone needs an angel." And as I would listen tonight in this meeting, the families that spoke, they are definitely the